Alright, can you hear me?
Yes.
Alright, perfect. Well, let's start. First of all, thank you very much for your time. This is great having you back in Lima, Peru after like 12 years, right?
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
So the only Anthrax show in Lima back in 2005 was, according to your words, in the top 5 Anthrax best shows ever, right? And what do you remember about it?
What's funny is I have more of a memory of going out eating a steak when I was in Lima, because the promoter took us out to dinner and I had this unbelievable steak, and that's what 12 years later I remember that more than the show. there's been so many more great shows since then, but not as many great steaks. So I have to say the Peruvian beef was good. It was that memorable.
So it was that delicious
yeah,
to you?
I mean, I remember it being a crazy show. You know, it was our first time there, of course, and I just remember it being very crazy.
All right. I have the DVD, the show on DVD, so maybe when you got here in Lima, I'm gonna give a copy to you so you can watch it in your house.
Cool, okay.
All right. So, talking about your latest album, For All Kings, what do you like the most about this record?
What do I like the most about it? It's weird because the album's already been out for a year and a half. I don't know. I just think it's a very consistent record. I think every song deserves to be played live. I think it still holds up after a year and a half. I have nothing that I would change on the record. I just think from start to finish, it's the most consistent thing we've ever done, and that's all we really try and do every time is write the best songs we can write in the time period when we're writing those songs. And what we accomplished on For All Kings is just it's a great record. It's Joey's second record back with the band, and I think as good as worship music was, I think For All Kings is even better. And it's just something that I think, especially coming so far into our career, and these are the songs we're writing. It just makes me feel very good about where Anthrax is and the future of Anthrax, and and the fact that we really still have something to say musically.
And which songs are your favorite to play live from For All Kings?
Right on the last, we've been off now for a couple months, but when we were in Europe in July, we just started playing the song All of Them Thieves for the first time. So I think that's like the 6th or 7th song off the album now that has made it into the set. So currently, All of Them Thieves is my favorite just because it's the newest one of all the songs on the record. I mean, I still love playing Blood Eagle Wings. I think that's pretty much been in the set since the beginning, and I love Monster at the End, and we were doing You Gotta Believe at the beginning of the tour, then we kind of stopped doing it, but maybe we'll bring it back. And of course, Breathing Lightning has been in the set, I think, for a year and a half now, and I still love playing that song. And I'm looking forward to playing some of the other songs we haven't played yet, like Jesus, I can't even think of song titles right now. Defend Avenge, I really want to play, and I would really like to play Zero Tolerance. Those are like two I'm really looking forward to eventually start playing those.
All right, You Gotta Believe is a great song, so hopefully you can play it here in Lima.
Yeah, we haven't really thought about the set yet, but soon.
All right. Among the Living is one of the best thrash metal albums ever, in my opinion. Where did the inspiration come from on that one? Probably Metallica's Master of Puppets?
Puppets. So, I mean, not to say that I don't love that album. I mean, I love Master of Puppets, but I can't say that it was an inspiration, really, on what we were doing at the time. We were still, for us, it was very much kind of just ourselves, because, you know, we had 2 records at that point, Fistful and Spreading, and we figured out who we were. By the time we started writing Among the Living, we really kind of figured out who Anthrax was and what Anthrax sounded like and what we wanted to hear from an Anthrax record, especially making Spreading the Disease. We were able to really listen to the stuff on that we loved as fans. This was okay, songs like AIR and Gung Ho and Madhouse, and these are the songs that we felt these are the best Anthrax songs. So I think if anything, it was just getting influenced by what we were doing as a band really opened the doors for us to be able to write a record like Among the Living, where it was just filled with 9 songs that we wanted to hear. All of our influences, of course, whether it was Maiden or Motorhead or hardcore stuff like Discharge at the time, all that stuff was influencing us. But I think so much of it just came from ourselves and who we were, and just learning how to be Anthrax.
All right, I get the chance to read your book, I'm the Man, the story of that guy from Anthrax, and one quote that stuck in my mind is you said that the Yellow Album, I can remember, the State of Euphoria isn't a great album because only a few songs are really great. Do you still believe that?
It's just an unfinished record. I'm in the band, so I know. And for me, it's a record that needed another 6 months of writing. But we rushed it because we were going to go out on tour with Iron Maiden in the summer of 1988, and we needed to finish. And so I just, when I hear it, I hear an album that's only half done. I think half the songs are finished, and the other half still needed work, or the opportunity for us to write more songs.
Well, all right. Well, I really love that album, and I'm sure a lot of fans love that album as well. So
yeah,
in the end, came
everyone
great.
has it. Everyone has their own feelings about things. I'm not telling anyone that they're wrong for liking it. I'm just telling you what I feel about it.
All right. Are you still in contact with John Bush? He recently said that he's interested in playing Anthrax songs from his time in the band. What do you think about that?
Yeah, John could do whatever he wants. Yeah, I mean, I am in touch with John. It's we see each other once in a while, and maybe we're texting each other once in a while.
But what do you think about the idea of John singing Anthrax songs again, not in Anthrax, maybe in some other project, because that's what he said?
I would go see it if they played a show where I could see it. I'd go.
All right. Back in '95, Dimebag Darrell recorded 3 solos on Stomp 4/4 too. How was to work with him in the studio?
He was, look, Darrell was at that time for us on Stomp and then on Volume 8 and We've Come For You All. I mean, he really, in so many ways, became, a member of the band because, look, no one else was playing on our records. Darrell was, and look, we had been friends for a long time, and it was just, I don't know what's the best way to put it. It was great, obviously, but it was also just really easy and a lot of fun because we had known each other already for years, and it just seemed like a very natural thing. We knew each other's bands and each other's music so well that it just seemed like a natural thing for us to ask him at the time, hey, what do you think about playing a couple of solos? And he couldn't have made it easier for us. I guess because obviously we were friends, and he also because he wanted to do it. It's not like we had to twist his arm to come play on the Anthrax record. It's something he really wanted to do, and just, you know, it was great. It was great. Like if he wasn't so busy with Pantera at the time, being one of the biggest bands in the world back then, you know, maybe we could have had him in our band full time, but you know, he had his real job in Pantera to deal with. So we were just happy to have, you know, as a guest member.
All right. Besides that, Pantera took Anthrax on tour in '97 and '98, when basically, according to your book, again, the record industry didn't give a big chance to Anthrax after the Elektra and Ignition fiasco. Would you say that Pantera saved Anthrax in the late '90s?
I don't know if "save" is the right word, but they definitely kept the you know, look, they kept us working. They took us out on a tour that put us in front of large audiences at the time, certainly larger than if we were headlining, and gave us the opportunity to work, and you know, for that I'll always be grateful. You know, look, I mean, we were friends first and foremost with all those guys, so the fact that, you know, they looked at us as let's take our brothers on tour with us, it was a great opportunity for us then, or if it would have happened 4 years before that, or 5 years after that, or whenever, we would have taken that opportunity at any time. So, but yeah, it certainly helped, you know, because it kept us out there, and certainly put us in front of crowds that had heard of Anthrax, but probably never saw us live, and I'm sure probably maybe didn't even own an album, and really just kept us moving forward.
All right.
And of course it was the craziest, most fun, you know, few months on tour we had ever had. So that helps too.
Especially drinking wise, right?
Yeah, of course.
Plus that, Phil Anselmo recorded guest vocals on Kill 'Em Box. What I'm trying to get is that Dimebag recorded solos on 3 Anthrax albums. Pantera took Anthrax on tour on '97, '98. Phil Anselmo went to record vocals for Volume 8. Despite all that, I'm not trying to be a douchebag or anything, but despite all that, you were among the musicians who criticized Phil Anselmo on the White Power incident. Do you think that was fair?
I think friends and family have the responsibility to call somebody out when they think. Look, I consider myself somebody's friend if I can call them out when I think they're doing something wrong, and that's really all I have to say about it. I think if you keep your mouth shut, then you really don't care about the person.
I agree. Did you have the chance to hear the statement from Phil saying that he was provoked by people on the first row? Excuse me.
I know. I honestly, it's something I haven't given much thought to since it all happened, and you know, I said what I had to say, and whoever said whatever they had to say, and you know, and as far as I'm concerned, it's water under the bridge at this point.
Oh, all right. No problem. Just to finish this episode, I don't want to bother you, but Phil Anselmo also reminded that you put a record called Speak English or Died with SOD. He said if you put out this album right now, you would be much more criticized than him doing the White Power thing.
There's no way to answer that question because the record came out in 1985.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to speculate about fantasy, then you may have time to do that in your day, but I don't. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, when 1985, either people understood that we were making fun of assholes and racists, and people people that would say speak English or die. So either people understood where it was coming from or they didn't. And if they didn't understand, it wasn't our responsibility to educate them. We were just having fun.
I agree, totally agree. All right, back to Anthrax. All the time people say that Anthrax created new metal, you know, with Bring the Noise. We all know your position, but what I want to ask you is, do you like any new metal band out there? Do you have any favorite new metal album?
We had a band on tour with us earlier this year called Code Orange, which I thought were really great. A really amazing live band, and then I got into the record because I hadn't heard of them before, but then them on the tour, and I just thought they were just super heavy, very brutal, and they really intense live, and got into them and got into their record because I thought they were such a great live band. They would definitely be the first one I can think of right now, anyway, as far as newer bands that that I've gotten into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got the chance to listen to Code Orange. Yeah, they are amazing. But I was speaking actually about new metal bands back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Do you like any of those bands?
What are you talking about? I have
like
no idea what
Korn, Deftones, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, I don't know, Slipknot.
Definitely love Slipknot. Big fan of theirs. Deftones, sure. Again, great live band. I mean, look, we had them on tour in 1995, opening for us. Awesome. Amazing live band. As far as the rest of that stuff, like I may not listen to the records, but I certainly give Korn a lot of credit and respect because, to me, and someone could probably argue that I'm wrong, but in my limited that whole world of that time period, to me they seem like the ones that created a sound, really created a new sound that was then copied by, I think, many other bands. But for me, Korn were very much an original, because before Korn, I hadn't heard Korn before, you know what I mean? And I heard them very early on. A friend of mine was working with them, and he used to give me their demos even before their first album was out. And
awesome.
It was like unlike anything I had heard before. So to me, that's the hardest thing you could do as a band, really, especially in the world of metal.
Exactly.
Is come up with a new sound and do something that's different. And for me, you could certainly say that about Korn. You could say it about Slipknot as well. I never heard Slipknot until I heard Slipknot. I hadn't heard that before. And I heard that first Slipknot record, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I remember that
what
too.
What the fuck are these, what the fuck are these guys doing? I had never heard anything like it. And, I just think in music in general, it's exciting when you hear something new. That moves you, that moves you and makes you excited about music.
Exactly, yeah. Corey Taylor got the singer position for like a week, right, in Anthrax back in 2006, right? Are you up to do a side project? All right, it's 2007. Are you up to do a side project with Corey someday?
Yeah, we'd have to call it the two busiest guys in metal.
Yeah.
We'd have to get in the band and Portnoy on drums. We got to get all the guys that have 15 projects going on at the same time. Look, we're Corey and Corey and Anthrax and Slipknot and Anthrax and Stone Sour. We're all really good friends. It's all of us guys. We all know each other and we're all friends and we all enjoy each other's company and we all enjoy each other's records. And so, of course, someday if I could do a project with Corey, I would love to do that at some point in time. Yeah, of course.
That sounds interesting. Since 2013, John Donais, former Shadows 4 guitar player, is playing in Anthrax. How did the guy got the gig?
wanted him, he was the only guy we even talked about, because we had known John as a friend, because we knew him from Shadows Fall, and we knew that change was going to take place. He was the only person we even thought of. We were like, God, if we could get John from Shadows Fall, he's the guy. We just knew he was the guy without even, he didn't have to audition or anything like that. We already knew him as a friend, and we already knew his playing, and we knew how good he was. So it wasn't like he had to come down and learn Anthrax songs and audition for us. We just knew he was the guy. We hoped that he would say yes when we asked him, and when we asked him, he said yes. So it worked out great.
All right. Yeah. On the Big Four show in Bulgaria, Joey Belladonna sang Only, but after that, you guys stopped playing Bush era songs. Why is that?
Dave Mustaine one night on tour together said, "How AIR in your set?" And we said, well, we don't really have a long enough set. We were out on tour in 2010, I think, with Slayer and Megadeth. Or maybe it was after that, because it was after. Anyway, it was at some point after the Big Four. But he said, "How come you guys don't play AIR?" And we said, well, we don't have enough time to play it. And he took the set list, and he looked at the set list, and he said, why don't you cut Only and play AIR? And we all kind of looked at each other and said, okay. And that night we dedicated AIR to Dave Mustaine. And it's funny because I think it was after that where Only wasn't in the set anymore. So it really wasn't any specific reason other than it was just time to make a set change, which we change songs all the time. So it's not to say that at some point Only or another Bush era song, could pop back in the set someday. That's always possible. I will say though, we certainly have enough Joey material to choose from to play a 3-hour show. So making a set list, it's not an easy thing.
Yeah, I really hope that you get the chance to play Fueled from Stomp 442. That in my opinion, that's the best Anthrax songs from the 90s.
Cool.
All right. Are you already working on the next album? What can you say about the musical direction of it?
Yeah, there are definitely a bunch of ideas, and I think if you like For All Kings, then moving forward you'll probably very much enjoy what comes next, because I've heard the riffs, and I have to say, in my humble opinion, they are very good.
All right. So Charlie is the one in charge of the writing music, and you're in charge of the lyrics, right?
I don't think saying in charge is the right way to put it, because that's not really how it works. Everyone has ideas, and everyone will submit ideas and float ideas, and when we're in the room together, everybody has ideas. Charlie just seems to be more of a catalyst, where he's an amazing riff writer. It's one of the things he's really great at, amongst other things. And so yes, he will come up with a lot of riff ideas that usually end up being Anthrax songs, and he's just really great at that.
All right.
But it's not like when I'm writing lyrics, I don't tell people, don't give me ideas. I welcome ideas. Certainly anything that will make my life easier, writing lyrics. I've written a lot of lyrics in the last 30 years, and sometimes it's really hard not to start repeating myself. And I love it when Charlie and Frankie and Joey give me ideas, whether it's even a song title idea or maybe something to write about. I welcome it. I'm like, please give me ideas.
And that sounds very fair. To finish this interview, Scott, I'm gonna say to you a phrase or a name. Please, you have to answer the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Son of White Noise. Don't think too much.
My my mind went blank. Sound the White Noise. John Bush.
All right. Kiss.
Gene Simmons.
Dan Nelson.
That's your answer.
All right. Angus Young.
The brother of my favorite guitar player.
All right. VH1.
Fun.
Volume 8. The Threat is Real.
Underrated.
I totally agree, man. Fistful of Metal.
Could you hold on 1 second?
All right.
Okay. You said Fistful of Metal?
Yeah. Come again, please.
Just in the sense that the fact that we even got to make our first album, that somebody even cared, the whole thing is crazy to me still.
Sorry, what was the first thing that you said that didn't get you?
About Fistful?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, all right.
Crazy that we even got to make our first album.
All right. Pearl A Day.
Love of my life.
All right. Thank you very much, Scott, for your time. This was a great interview. To finish, I'm also a collector. By any chance, do you have a copy of Volume 8 that you can bring to Lima? I'm gonna pay whatever you want because I've been looking for that one.
I don't.
Really?
I have it on CD, but not here in my house. It's in storage. I definitely have some CDs in storage somewhere, but it's not even something I certainly will have access to or be visiting before I come down to South America. So.
Oh.
Yeah, eventually that record will be out again.
Really?
Eventually, we've been trying for years to get a deal made for that record, and it just every time it looks like it's going to happen, and then it falls apart. And we're really working on it again because it's crazy that you can't even buy that record.
Yeah, it's impossible to find anywhere, man.
Yeah, it is. There are bootleg copies out there that it's really annoying, but we're trying really hard, and I'm hoping at some point next year that it'll come out again.
Oh, that's great news. Well, thank you so much again. Looking forward to meet you in Lima, and looking forward for the next Anthrax show in Lima. Hopefully it's as crazy as the one back in 05.
Right on, man.
All right. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.